New Year's resolutions. We all make them. It's kind of a thing. For some people, it's eating healthier. Maybe it's saving up some money. Maybe it's taking up extreme ironing as a hobby. I just found out that's a thing. You just try to iron shirts while doing crazy things. It's awesome. What's more important than the tradition of making the New Year's resolutions, though, is our seeming tradition that none of us can actually seem to keep them. Like, actually, I feel like we don't ever keep our New Year's resolutions. Until now. This year, I'm making a New Year's resolution I can actually keep. At least I hope I can. I mean, it would be really embarrassing if I said that and then I also just gave up. For the month of January, I'm going to be attempting to run every single morning. The rules are simple. I say rules like it's actually some kind of game or challenge. It's really just a personal goal for me. Rule number 1, the run must be in the morning. That means before noon. Rule number 2, I have to run every day of the month of January. Rule number 3, I have to run 2 miles on January 31st. Last one's not really a rule. I just want to be able to do that, and it sounds better to say 3 rules. My resolutions were ready. My first obstacle, the first day. Obviously, I had to stay up super late on New Year's Eve partying with my friends, so I'm already running at a disadvantage. You see what I did? Cause I'm awake. I'm gonna go run now. The first day was upon me. I was ready. I was itching to go. And I got out there and I ran as best I could. Day 1 down. Just finished the run. Ran half a mile. And hopefully, we just keep going up from here. Good morning. About to go run again. Somehow it is colder than it was yesterday. I say somehow. It's totally believable. It's 10 degrees colder than it was yesterday, but it's not partly cloudy, and it's not windy. It's not as windy, it's still windy. Hopefully, running will be a little easier today, and I'm gonna, I think, try for a full mile. We'll see how it goes. Ran 3/4 of a mile. It's cold, I'm going inside now. I hope that sit transition looks as good as I think it will when I edit this. Did 3/4 of a mile, so that's day 2 complete. Now on to day 3. Day 3 was another 3/4 of a mile. Hey, it's Josh from the future here, or I guess the present since these videos were the past. Somehow I totally messed up how many miles each lap around my neighborhood is. I thought it was 1/4 of a mile, it's actually about 0.45 miles. It's almost a half mile. Which means I ran 0.9 miles the first day, 1.3 miles the second and third day, and I do need to change the goal for the final run to 2.5 miles. Okay, that's all, bye. Day 4 was another 0.9 miles. Day 5, I had to get up pretty early, which meant that I had to run on a treadmill. And personally, I am not a fan. Day 6 was treadmill again, and it was only 1/4 of a mile. Day 7, I was getting annoyed with the treadmill. 1/4 of a mile again. I hate running on the treadmill. Now let's take a look at those week 1 results. Week 1 didn't look too good, but it's okay. We still got week 2. Day 8, got back out in the snow. 0.45 miles. Day 9, half mile. Nice improvement. Day 10, back down to 0.45. I'm back at school. I was going to film this yesterday, but I got in and immediately had to go to a rehearsal because I'm actually in a production of The Three Musketeers here and I had to go sword fight. Like a cool guy. I actually already ran today, so this is a little out of order. We're just going to get back to that. Now I know what you're thinking. Surely with all these shots, I have to be setting up for something grand. And I was. It was a mile with Ben and Josh. Man, Ben and Josh was so cool. Day 12 was another mile. I love rides. Day 13 was a half mile with my roommate Scotty. Just look at him smile. But day 14 got back up to 1. Now we can look at week 2. Week 2 was a little stronger. Got out of the 1/4 mile zone, so that's good. Ran a couple full miles, which is really nice, so I'm liking where things are going. Day 15, I ran a half mile with my gloves because it's cold. Stayed in a little bit of a slog for the next few days. Day 16, day 17, day 18, all half miles. Day 19 was a doozy. I went for a run around campus, ran 1.33 miles. Day 20 was back down to 0.5 though. Day 21 was the same thing, 0.5. Alright, time to look at week 3. Week 3 was good for consistency, but it was consistently not good. Other than the one day, of course. Week 4 definitely needed to start off strong. And boy, would it start strong. I didn't get up to run. I slept. I think things were just catching up. I was staying up too late and then still getting up early, and it just burnt me out. That didn't mean I was going to let things stop here, though. That 2.5 was still coming up, and I was going to make sure it happened. So on day 23, I got out like nothing had happened, and I ran a half mile. Day 24, I did a little bit better. I ran a whole mile. Day 25, I think I ran a half mile. I just wrote a question mark next to it, so I have no idea what I actually ran that day. Day 26, I ran a half mile, and somehow got it in my head that I needed to run 3 on the last day.
A few more days to run 2 miles.
Good job, me. Day 27, just a mile. But then day 28.
Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here where Juliet lives. And every dog and cat and little mouse and every unworthy thing lives in heaven and may look on her.
I tried to memorize a Shakespeare monologue on my run.
A mile down and half a mile to go, and also half the Shakespeare monologue down and half of that to go.
Mile and a half, though. Let's take a look at week 4. Even with all the running, I still had a long way to go before 2.5 miles. So it was time I locked in. Day 29, I came out with a fury.
Let's take off my hat. Didn't think I'd be getting this out, but only half mile left. So I'm almost there.
Mile and a half. Light work.
Yeah, move.
Day 30, I was running around a large chunk of campus.
There was a big hill right here.
Even with my lack of accounting for hills on the route I chose, I still kept pushing.
Why did I pick around so many hills? I don't know why I did that.
I kept pushing and pushing until eventually...
I finished. I'm very hot and it's cold. So I'm going inside.
That brought me to day 31, the final day. It was raining, but it didn't matter to me. I had to run 2.5 miles, even if it wasn't a stupid treadmill. So I ran, and I ran. And finally, I did it. 2.5 miles down. But even though I was excited, I couldn't help but think of all my resolutions. I didn't run on day 22, so I hadn't finished my resolution of running every day for the month of January. But at the end of the day, it's not about checking off the box that says you did the thing. I think it's about getting back on the horse when you fall. So, really, I think I kept the resolution that matters most.